This is a free event, so if you don't like it, remember that. You did not pay to be here. So I have never done stand-up comedy in my life. This is my first time, but I thought these guys are singing, and I feel like they're dampening my spirits because I have no singing gift. So I thought I'll try out comedy to encourage other people to maybe try and step up and do something they haven't done before. So hopefully this encourages you guys. Yeah! Rule number one, if you like it, clap. If you don't like it, clap louder. That means you like it. Right, I'm going to tell you a bit of this is like confessions, the story of my life. And my boys over here are going to help me out. We're going to start off with the song of the story of my life. Dum, 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 dum. Now, this is a story all about how my life got twisted upside down. Now, like it, just sit right there. Tell you how you get against the top over there. I pulled up to about 7 or 8, now you got to the back. Your home, stay there. Lift to my kingdom, I'll find it there. Sit in my throne, there's a prince of Bel-Air. Okay, we're warmed up, okay. So, story of my life starts off with my upbringing. As you can tell from my accent, you have no idea where I'm from. And that is exactly the story of my life. I have lived in possibly half a dozen countries. And I start off with a bit of an American twang. And so I started, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, you good? And, hey, don't touch my hair. And if you're African, you know there's some things you can't say in another accent. It just doesn't happen. You're like, ah! Yeah, like, we have never heard that. You can ask my wife, she tries, she's like, ah, ah. Nah, it is, ah, ah. I can put on a French accent, I'm like, bonjour, comment allez-vous? Oui, je parle français. J'ai vécu pendant 6 mois, 10 mois, 2 ans en France. And then anything, I'm originally from Cameroon. I have lived in the States, I've lived in Toulouse, I've lived in Nairobi. You will not be able to know. And that is a bit of my upbringing. I feel a bit left out everywhere I go. You know, I'm like, thank you. No, for real. Like, you guys laugh, right? This is home for you guys, the UK. I'm a foreigner here. I go to Cameroon, they look at me and they're like, his English is too good. He's not Cameroonian. I am a foreigner in Cameroon, so my upbringing has been very traumatic. And for that, I blame my parents. Parents, I know you mean the best for your children, but please think about the things you do to them, right? So my parents, imagine this, I was 30 at home in Cameroon with my father and my mom, and I said, it's Christmas Day, Dad, I'm going out for drinks with my friends, and he's like, I do not permit. I'm like, Dad, I laugh like you guys just did. I was like, that's it, Father. I said, no, Dad, no, seriously, I'm going out for a drink, I'll see you tomorrow, right? He's like, I do not permit. I said, Dad, Mom, can you talk to your husband? I am 30. I am going out for a drink. She said, no, your father has a point. The road is a bit dangerous today. Why do you want to go out? I said, Mom, I am 30. I can do what I want. My parents are mad. I told my parents, I was like, Mom, Dad, I have something to tell you. And you don't do this to African parents, right? Like, you guys come with your parents, are like, hey, Mom, Dad, this is my boyfriend, girlfriend. No. In Africa, you only take them if you intend to marry them, right? So I said, Mom, Dad, I have a girlfriend. My dad said, what are your intentions? He said, we do not know their family. They could be murderers. I'm like, Dad, she's normal. They're like, is she vegetarian? What she eat? No. If she cannot cook you meat, we do not permit. Right? My parents are mad. My parents asked me, my girlfriend was vegetarian. I had to convince them that she was not. They're like, can she make jollof? Now, if any of you know jollof rice, thank you. Jollof rice is like, for the Westerners, it's like paella. We put everything in. So it's not that complicated, but for an African parent, jollof rice is the thing. Huh? So they said, can she make jollof? I said, I don't think so. She makes pasta. She can make an omelet. And they're like, so how is she going to cook for you? African parents are mad. But you know what? So my mom had been praying for me. And she's like, Baron, we just want grandchildren. We don't really care who we're with. We just want grandchildren. Like, we're sick and tired of waiting. So they said, listen, can we help? I said, okay, you know what, Mom? I'm going to tell you exactly what I want in a woman. And if you can find it, please. So I said, I want a woman who's intelligent, who can sing, who's active, right? Who's plays the saxophone, and basically who is funny, right? My mom just said, we will pray for you. I said, this will give me at least 2 years. I went to work one day, I met this girl, I was like, hey, how are you? She's like, yeah, I just run a few marathons. I'm like, okay. She's like, I went to a really good school and I'm an accountant. I'm like, oh, right. And then she's like, and I play the saxophone. You don't believe me? That's my wife Lauren over there. So I threw out this random idea and it came true. Which brings me to the next bit of the story of my life about my faith, right? So Lauren was an answer to my mom's prayer. My faith, growing up in Africa, I don't know if you've heard of the Pentecostal churches, right? I'm sure you Anglicans all know those. They're like, Holy Spirit, fire! Fire! So I grew up, you laugh. This stuff is real, folks. The battle is real, man. Seriously, so I went to a Pentecostal place. I was like, my uncle took me. He's like, I was out here. They're like, all right, does anyone who wants to pray for the Holy Spirit, put your hand up, and we're going to pray for you to speak in tongues. I'm like, let's test this out. All right, you can speak in tongues. All right, let's test this out. I'm like, yeah, me. So the man's like, right, we're going to pray for the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, come down, fire! I kid you not, everyone spoke in tongues. I was feeling left out. I was like, this Holy Spirit thing isn't working, right? Okay, what do you do when you're not speaking in tongues? I spoke in another random language. The only random languages I knew were my dad's village language and a little bit of French, and the only things I knew in those languages were swear words. So I stood there going, blah, 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 blah. I was swearing. Everyone else was speaking in tongues. I was speaking in a strange foreign language and swearing. And that was my experience of Pentecostal churches. My faith was guided by all these Pentecostal churches and the fact. In fact, I was so inspired by them. My sister and I had this thing where our favorite food was fried fish. And we'd have this fried fish, and it impacted us so much we called it Holy Spirit fish, right? This was the fish you'd eat, you're like, fire! Holy Spirit fish. Right? And anyway, finally, so we've had a bit of my upbringing, a bit of my family, a bit of my faith. The final thing really is about my story of my life is really the challenges I give myself. So, you've met my wife, she runs marathons. I thought, oh, you know what? You can't not run a marathon. You're a man. You're a man. Your chick runs a marathon. I'm going to run marathons. So she threw this idea. She was like, how about 5 marathons in 1 year? I'm like, yeah, baby, you think you can do it? I can do it. So we did. We started off marathon number 1, painful. Marathon number 2, even more painful. Marathon number 3, I'm like, listen, your legs are used to this thing, B. Come on now, you can step up. Marathon number 3, 3 miles in, I was like, I've had enough, baby. She's taking selfies, smiling. 24 miles in, going, we're in Rome, say hello. I'm like, this chick, you white people are crazy. Right? She's like, do you want to do a triathlon? I was like, black people don't swim? You seen my thighs? Golly, I have to wear 36-inch trousers just to fit my thighs in them. We can't swim. I'm like, you can't say no. I'm like, yeah, sure, baby, what's up? Anything you want. Triathlon, luckily it was in a pool. I was like holding on to the sign, pulling around. People are looking at me. I'm like, listen, I'm black, I can't swim. Right? You put me in 100 meters, I'll beat you. That's right. Right? So I've been trying all these different challenges. I thought, you know what? I thought, you know, Barrett, one day you will be speaking in front of loads of people. So what you need to do is you need to become an actor. So I know, yeah, you're thinking, this guy can't even crack jokes. I was good at it. So I signed up to do auditions for acting school. So I went to, signed up for LAMDA. If people have heard of LAMDA. Signed up for another one. I was like, B, this is your chance. Don't mess this up. Went to LAMDA. They're like, Mr. Nyangwe, step forward and do your Shakespeare piece. I was like, I worked on this. I know Shakespeare. Little did I know. So I visited a friend an hour before my audition. And I did my Shakespeare to her, and she was like, that's a little bit African, bro. And I was like, listen, this is the only way I know how to do Shakespeare. She was like, I'm not sure. You need to breathe here, you need to speak there. So in an hour of my audition, I had to change what I'd been planning for weeks. And I went up there and I did my Shakespeare in the British version. And they looked at me and they're like, thank you so much. And you can see why I'm not an actor. And so I thought I'd take up a little bit of classical singing. And you know, how many black classical singers do you sing? Not many. Well, today, folks, you have one. One who is going to sing for you. Right? Thank you very much. And if you know the words, join in. I mean, it might be out of pitch, but try your best. Right? We're going to sing a classic tune, Time to Say Goodbye. Prelude, sorry. It's time to say goodbye. Quando sono solo sogno l'orizzonte mancan le parole. I'm not done yet. E aussi lo so che sei come. Tu mia luna, tu sei chi come. Mio sole, tu sei chi come. Time to say goodbye. Yeah, you guys don't know the words anyway. Listen, it's been real. Thank you, folks. Good night.